Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lawsplaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And today, we have some things to talk about. I suppose, oh my goodness. Phone plugged in. We've got a couple things to talk about. The bulk of today's show, as you have hopefully surmised from the title, will be Ronversations. We're going to do a segment on Ronversations. I don't know. Oh my goodness. I don't know how long this is all going to take. I don't know anymore. I don't know. He sent me so much stuff that I don't know how long it can go. In fact, I still don't even know where the last one ended. So I'm going to check that real quick. If you give me a second. We're going to find out. I got to find out where the last one ended. And because we've got to pick up where we left off. That'll be in a little bit. We've had some shows between the Ronversations. I'm trying not to just stack these, right? But he keeps sending me stuff. I mean, if he keeps sending me stuff, I'll keep doing some of the shows on him. But I don't want it to be a whole show. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes tonight. Before we get to that, we're going to talk about some impeachment stuff. I mean, not much. We're going to recap what happened. You guys know what happened. But I'm going to give you my perspective on it. What else are we going to talk about? Oh, I was going to talk some Twit Er. A law firm of Twit Er a little bit as well. Oh my God, why am I so tired? It's just embarrassing how tired I am. And the reason we're going to talk the law firm of Twit Er is just because there's something going on with it. All of these guys have promised that they were done. They promised that they were done, and they lied. That's a bit hyperbolic. They lied. Now, I don't care if they're done or not, but why are they so adamant on keeping this up? That's the question here. Why are they so adamant on keeping this up? They are relentlessly trying to convince everybody that they won. First of all, they didn't win anything. Like, they're not the ones in court. So that isn't what happened. Jay Sean, Sam Johnson, and John Volney won. And there's never been any pretending otherwise. That is what happened. That is what took place, what transpired. And c'est la vie. That's part of it. Now we're, of course, on to appeals. But for some reason, the law Twitter speds out there are trying to still convince people that they won, which I don't understand. They all told me that I was boring. They said the case was done. They said they didn't like having to argue with these people. They've blocked damn near everybody already. So what are they still doing? Why are they still relentlessly talking about it? I don't know. These guys talk about this more on Twitter than I do, and I kind of do it for a living, which is weird. So I don't know. So we're gonna look at Mike Dunford a little bit, because this guy is the pretendopotamus to end them all. It's amazing. It's astounding, actually. I find it very funny. And so we'll take a peek at some. Not a lot. Listen, I just need a lead in to make fun of Mike Dunford. That's all. That's the whole point of that whole segment. It's just gonna be me making fun of Mike Dunford. And that's about it. But other than that, there's not a lot to report. We'll talk about Tulsi and Hillary just a minute, because there's been an update there. Still watching Chris Hook. No updates on Chris Hook. Greg Doucette, despite claiming on Twitter that he heard that the sons of Confederate veteran were served or whatever, they haven't filed that proof of service, and the sons of Confederate veterans have not noticed the court of their appearance. So, I mean, maybe he lied. I don't know if he lied, but maybe he's lying. I don't understand why he would lie, but maybe he is. Or maybe he's telling the truth and they're just not filing anything. I don't know. Kind of like how he's still not licensed to practice in Texas. I don't know how many swearing in ceremonies he needs to go. He needs to skip, or whatever. But it's just where we're at. It's just where we're at. All right, I found the spot in the DMs. We're gonna pull those up. We're gonna have fun tonight. Well, I'm gonna have fun. I hope you guys have fun with me. That's an important distinction. I can't promise that you guys will have fun, only that I will have fun, and I hope that you will join me in that fun. Where are we? Oh my gosh. This is just good. Da, 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 da. Where are we here? I think somewhere right around here. I said I found it. I found where it's supposed to be. There it is. Okay. All right. That's where we left off on the Ronversations. I know you guys can't see this, and it's riveting TV or whatever. But it's me getting it all set up, and that's where we're at with that. So anyway, let's take a stab at impeachment for just a minute. And if you're living under some rock and you're dead, you may not know that yesterday the House or the Senate, the House. Oh my God. The Senate voted to not remove Donald Trump from office. So Trump is acquitted, for lack of a better word, of his 2 impeachment charges. Trump has been found not removable. It's not really not guilty. It's not like a criminal trial at all. We are using terms like acquitted, but it's not really an acquittal in this way we would understand an acquittal. It was a vote. It was a vote. The vote was of confidence or no confidence, and the Senate voted confidence in Trump. They would have voted no confidence in Trump, he would have been removed. Can't look at it as an acquittal. There's not a jury deliberating. This isn't based on applying legal standards. It's a political question. So we should talk about it politically, because that's what it is. And that's fine. That's the system we developed. The political question, the political capital required to attempt to remove the president of the United States should be and is substantial. And the Democrats will be reaping that for the rest of this election cycle. I think they're maybe going to try and double down and bring Bolton back to the House to testify. They mentioned something about that. If they bring Bolton back to the House, they can file... They can file more impeachment articles. They can bring the same exact charges. Double jeopardy doesn't apply to impeachment because it's not a criminal charge. The House can vote on it all they want. Each time it's a political risk that must be calculated in the realm of political risks. So, Trump is acquitted. Let me just muse on something real quick. I've talked about this somewhere. I don't remember where. But the critical error that the House made is that they wanted John Bolton to testify, apparently. And they wanted some other witnesses to testify, apparently. Now, they had the opportunity to have these witnesses testify in front of the House. That record would be added to the Senate's record for impeachment. And there you go. They could have done it. For whatever reason, they didn't do that. Now, this has parallels. This has parallels in your case, in a legal case. Again, it's not a perfectly analogous system, but it's similar. When you're in your case in chief, and that's where you're presenting your case, whatever it may be, that's your opportunity to call your witnesses, to introduce your evidence, to have it authenticated by your people using the facts that you know. This is, in the current system we have, with a Republican president, Democrat House, and Republican Senate, the Democrat House bringing the impeachment charges, they had to look at that as their case in chief. They should have looked at that and said, we must put all of our eggs into this basket, because once it leaves the hands of the House, the Democrats won't have any say on what the Senate does. The Senate establishes their rules by, I believe, a simple majority on how they're going to conduct the impeachment. And then it's the 2/3 of members present to determine the fate of the impeached. But setting the rules is the key part. Are we going to allow witnesses? How long are we going to have? What kind of arguments are we going to have? Will we allow the whistleblower's name to be read on the Senate floor? All of those are questions that are were determined by Senate Rules Committees, and they probably only need simple majority within committees. It's not even full Senate votes here, and they set up this stuff. The House had to know that if they didn't introduce the witnesses and evidence that they wanted during their case in chief, that they wouldn't get it. They wouldn't get it in, or would have a low likelihood of getting it in. So the question is, why didn't they do it? You could take the approach of they're morons, they're stupid, they're run by an ancient lich who's had more plastic surgery than Joan Rivers, Nancy Pelosi. And have you taken a moment and ever watched Nancy Pelosi talk? Like what her mouth does? It's like she's so used to chewing through flesh that her mouth is just stuck moving that way. It's gross, man. It's disgusting. So, but we can take the approach that they're just idiots, or we can take the approach that they're not idiots. And of course they knew this is how it was going to work, and that they wouldn't get Bolton in, and they wouldn't get their witnesses in, and then they would have a rallying cry. It's all a show. It's all a show. And in fact, if you want to hear most of my perspective on it, all you need to do is you could just go watch Razorfist's rant today that he did about the State of the Union address. If you just watch that, I mean, that sums up what the impeachment also is. It's also an act of political theater by both parties and by the President of the United States and everybody else involved. It's all political theater, and they're all going to try and exploit it to their advantage. So anyway, liches don't deserve that comparison, Nick. Apologize right now. Look, I'm just worried that when Nancy Pelosi finally dies, her phylactery will bring her back, and she'll be right back in the House. I think that's the worst possible outcome. We got to find and crush that phylactery. Child, right? That's Nancy. Skull of an unborn child, maybe one with like some rare genetic condition, so its skull is thin. It's like a Fabergé egg, and she carries it around on a satin pillow. Well, I say satin, but it's woven from the skin of aborted babies. Like this woman is horrifying. an absolute travesty of a human. And that's, we've got to find it. We've got to find it, and we've got to get rid of her phylactery so she doesn't come back. The sound cut out? Oh my God. I think I've got the gain up too high. I apologize. We'll fix that. That should be a little bit better. Hopefully that'll fix. Yeah. For the cooking stream, I had to adjust the gain, so I apologize. Hopefully you missed all of my jokes about Nancy Pelosi basically being the lord of aborted babies. So, one more thing. If you missed the cooking stream today, that means you're either not a member of the channel, not a member of New Project 2, or not a member of Patreon, or you were busy. One of those three. But if you are a member, you can go back and watch the stream. You should. It's fun. Good times. Good times. You missed the stream? Well, it's still posted on the community tab. That guy Mitch, you can go back and watch it. So, but yeah, the cooking show is a fun part of it, and you can join if you want. All right, so what does the acquittal of Donald Trump mean? It means that Democrats will be whining about the acquittal of Donald Trump for at least the next 9 months through the election. And then, of course, much more after that, assuming he wins. And that Republicans will use the impeachment as an attack on the president. They'll use the acquittal as his triumph. And Mitt Romney will hopefully find his way out of office sometime very soon. Not because Mitt Romney voted against Republicans. That's not why he needs to see himself out the door. Mitt Romney needs to see himself out the door because his decision was flatly moronic. That's all. That's it. Yes, they can keep trying to impeach him. They can raise the articles as many times as they want, and the Senate can handle it however they want. Michael Garfinkel, what was cooked and grilled? 2 tomahawk ribeyes were grilled. A vegetable medley was roasted, pan roasted, and then there was some grilled bok choy as well. Go with it. So there you go. I mean, that's about it on impeachment. There's not a lot to really talk about. It's a political process. It's not a legal process. They've set now a political precedent that what the president did doesn't merit removal from office. It's not a legal precedent. There's no binding legal precedent on impeachment, but it is a political precedent. They have further cemented the political precedent that witnesses during the Senate hearing are subject to the whims of the Senate. They have nothing to do with what the House wants or what anybody else wants. There is no rule about it. There are no rules to impeachment other than in the case of the president sitting for impeachment, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court presides. And that's an interesting question. What does presiding over the hearing even mean? Well, the Senate sets up what it means. Because John Roberts doesn't have any actual authority to do much. He presides over the hearing and is granted whatever powers over the hearing that the Senate gives him. There isn't a rule about it. It just says he presides. So when Rand Paul wanted Chief Justice John Roberts to read the name of the whistleblower, for example, and Roberts refused, the Senate could have overridden that. They could have. And there'd be no recourse. They could have overridden it. The Chief Justice has no official power other than to sit in provision. Oh my goodness. Sit presiding over the hearings. It's a really interesting sort of concept. I was fascinated. I was teaching my homeschool class, the high schoolers at our co-op, about the Constitution today, because that's the class that I teach. It's kind of derailed into an impeachment discussion because it's not every day you get to discuss an impeachment of a sitting president, but we did get back onto the Constitution today and talk through Articles 4 through 7. And it's amazing the big questions that are going on right now. There are big questions about impeachment happening that implicate the Constitution. There's a big question going on between the counties of Virginia and West Virginia that implicates the Constitution. These are big constitutional questions. These are not like minute, hyper-focused in examinations of a legal doctrine or of how something is worded or the extent of, how much infringement can we do on this particular right. When we're talking about annexing counties from one state and adding them to another state, that's a huge, huge question that the court will be faced with this year. We have another big question that the court is being faced with, and that is the passage of the Equal Rights Amendment in Virginia, which means that they're the 38th or whatever state to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment, which maybe it's 34th. I don't remember. But it now, at this point, we say that we're at the requisite number of states ratifying the amendment to add it to the Constitution, but there's this little hiccup, and that's in the preamble to the text of the amendment. They stated that there was like an 8-month time window for the states to ratify and adopt the amendment. And this expired like 20 years ago. So now we have states suing to force the addition of the 28th Amendment to the Constitution, and we will have a big fight over whether or not a preamble can limit the amount of time for states to ratify it. And just a brief aside, the 27th Amendment to the Constitution was ratified in 1992 and adopted into the Constitution as the amendment, but I believe it was proposed somewhere in the late 1790s. So we had this thing for almost 200 years, if not for 200 years, and it was just sitting out there. So we have an idea that that ratification can take place at a much later date. That is a real thing, but there is limiting language in the preamble to the proposed 28th Amendment, and we're going to see a fight over it. Who knows how the Supreme Court's going to fall on that? I think I'll say that I think that they won't allow the adoption of the amendment. They'll require, the 2/3 House and Senate to repass the amendment and then let the states re-ratify it. Maybe take off the preamble with the time limit if they want. I think they might stick with that. For what it's worth, I don't think that the amendment has many teeth anyway, probably because the abusive husband knocked them out. That's a joke. It's a joke. Oh dear Lord. No, it's an amendment that solidifies the rights of women as equal to men, but we have that under the 14th Amendment. It's another piece of political theater. So anyway, I don't think the Supreme Court will allow the adoption of it, but maybe they will. Either way, if they don't, it's going to get crammed down our throats over and over again how unjust and terrible it is, how there's a conservative court, it's only by a 5-4 majority, and blah, 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 blah. It's going to be a disaster. It's going to waste everybody's money, everybody's time, and the actual practical outcome either way is going to be negligible. Can I shut up and talk Ronversations? No, I've got to wait. Got to wait a little bit. There's a magic to how YouTube works. Will anything happen to Nancy since she tore up the State of the Union address? No, of course not. Not illegal to tear up the State of the Union address. She didn't permanently destroy any records of it or anything like that. She just tore it up. That's her free speech. We don't want a punishment for that. That is the last thing we want a punishment for. I would rather have punishments for flag burnings than for what she did. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. All right. Let's hit a couple of these super chats that have come in and a justice chat that came in earlier. The Pie Baker says, between these Ronversations, McCuckold's Twitter campaign, and dating Monica, we can now say for certain Ron loves to beat a dead horse. Oh my God. Come on. Come on now. No. No. Yeah, you guys are right. Pelosi's thing was completely immature, unprofessional, stupid. I think it'll backfire on her. It's all dumb. I'm just saying it's not illegal. Burning a flag is largely immature, dumb. Might backfire on you literally when you realize how fabric burns and how it can light your clothes on fire, all of that stuff. But should it be illegal? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think people should do it. Don't do it. But you know, I'm not going to stop people from expressing their political speech. Okay, Lord Blackwind says, "Hey Nick, I just got into 40K because of you. My apologies, my son. And my wallet hates you for it. So use the super chat to buy and drink a bottle of Jack Daniels." Well, I preemptively bought it just for you. I will pour some Jack Daniels. Also, I hear Ty Beard is in the chat. Ty, I do this in solidarity with you. Jack Daniels is trash. But I'm going to drink some Jack Daniels. For the con sluts! Oh. Oh, God. Oh, it's disgusting. Oh, it's disgusting. It's better than Fuyu. That's the highest praise you're going to get of Jack Daniels on my stream tonight. It's better than Fuyu, and it's at least on par with Military Special. Ugh. The infamous GS says, "Hey, Nick, if you ever need info on Animat, I'm your guy." Now, have you noticed what Animat's doing? Have you noticed what Animat is doing? Animat is talking a lot about this lately, isn't he? And man, some of this stuff, it's amazing how much Animat sounds like Toye. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's coincidence. Animat sounds like Toye. Some of the Law Twitter speds sound like Toye. Guys are running with Toye's narrative. No, they're not talking about Toye's DMs to me, but they are echoing the sentiments in there quite heavily. It's almost like there's a concerted push to try and get people to believe that it's my fault that Vic isn't getting invited to conventions or whatever. It's apparently my fault that Ron and Monica and Jamie Markey and Funimation all represented to the world that Vic was a sexual predator. That's my fault. Even though they all did that before I even mentioned it. So that's my fault, though. So, yeah. Anyway, it's a common theme out there right now. Animat is running with it pretty heavily. Ron, of course, as you'll see, Ron is desperate to get something like that in the Ronversations. But yeah, it's great. I love it. I love it. And this is what I'm talking about with the Law Twitter people. I don't know if it's a top-down AstroTurf or if it's a grassroots, but it's certainly interesting. The unity of message going on right now. Just look for me in your DMs and you'll find all the basic info you need. P.S. Keep up the good work. I have little interest in Animat. Very, very little interest in Animat. From what I've seen, I'm not impressed by him. But okay. I don't believe for a second that Animat runs at all. Polar Bear Yago says, say Nikki Boy, the lady who reads body language, essentially tore Pelosi apart and it was glorious. You should check it out. Yeah, that's the body language ghost. I like her stuff. But I have to put one mild criticism out. Has she considered the possibility that Nancy Pelosi is an animatronic and examining her body language is impossible? I don't know. She might come to all the right conclusions, but I can't in good conscience say she did it based on the evidence available. Because Nancy Pelosi is, again, it's a marionette stuffed with straw and goat hearts. Plum Logan says, House will get Bolton's testimony. Then, knowing another impeachment is suicide, they'll claim they would impeach again, but the Senate has made Trump a king and kings cannot be impeached. That's their next move. That's a good call. That's a good call. Namrek Istos says, I am ready for Mo Ronversations. Also, please thank Nux Taku for his work for putting interspecies reviewers at number 2 on my anime list. It's way up there. They catapulted it into the cultural zeitgeist. I saw it got removed from a couple other streaming services, but I think that's largely just a ripple effect of Funimation dropping it personally, but maybe I'm wrong. Andrew Dadian says, hi, Nick. First super chat for me. Hey, thank you. Welcome. I just want to claim I filed against my job for unreimbursed mileage with the labor board in Cali, awarded $6.3K. How likely do you think it is they will appeal? I work for a copy service. There's a lot of questions there. Was that in small claims court? I don't know how California works, but in Minnesota, if you win in small claims court, either party can appeal the decision without any effort at all and send it to district court. It's a complete joke. It's a complete cluster. It's a waste of time. Hopefully it also depends on how the judge worded the award and all of that stuff. But it's only $6,300. Appealing is going to cost more than that. So if they're smart, they probably will just pay it out or offer you like $5K and promise not to appeal or something. Next, Blitzky. Can't wait for Ron's band Blue Haired Oyster Cult to drop their new single, Don't Fear the Remote. Oh. 200 Watt Studio says, Nick, people are saying it's a violation of 1663, protection of government property, protection of public records and documents, 18 USC 641. No, it's not. It's not. Get that out of your head. Not what the law is intended for. It will not be enforced in that way. And if it was enforced in that way, it would be appealed all the way up to the Supreme Court and it would be unenforced. It's not a violation of that statute. That statute is for the permanent destruction of government records to make them unrecoverable, right? Like that's the reason that statute exists. They don't want you to destroy something that is an essential government record. They don't care if you rip up a piece of paper with the State of the Union address on it. There's a million more pieces of paper with the State of the Union address, and it's also sitting on some intern's hard drive in PDF format. We're fine. It's not a violation of it. There's no way on earth she gets punished for it in any legal capacity. They may admonish her or something on the House floor. They won't, but it's her political speech. So. Edward Ide says, my first super chat. Hey, thank you. So instead of resigning, should Nixon have just weathered the storm and let the political theater play through? No, he was going to get removed. Nixon would have been removed from office, almost guaranteed. The evidence against him was astounding. Public opinion against him was astounding. It would have been, what he did was he did his Republican colleagues a favor by resigning. So no, I don't think he should have weathered the storm. Would he have had a chance of staying in office if he did? I don't think so. Excellent show. Hey, thanks. Thanks. I appreciate that. But yeah, Nixon, he was not going to weather that one. And yes, we can make comparisons between Nixon and other people all day. It doesn't matter. That was a recipe for him to be removed. That's it. Like it was a perfect storm. You can even think what he did was right. It doesn't matter. He was going to get removed. Did Trump pardon Nixon? Nixon was pardoned by his successor. So, yes, he could, but Nixon was already pardoned. So, all right. Should we get towards these Ronversations? I've got the law Twitter stuff. Maybe we'll do a couple Ronversation pieces, then we'll do some law Twitter, and then go back and do a little bit more Ronversations before we end the show. So that's that. Let's do one other thing real quick though. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Vic kicks back. The GoFundMe, $274,610. You guys are ridiculous. We're $390 from $275K. $390 from $275K. I don't usually shill like this, but if you guys are interested, back me up and get us to 275K tonight. I will tweet it out and make fun of people who have trouble, we'll say, getting their own GoFundMes above a certain amount. Oh boy. Yep. Yeah, like T. Greg. So yeah, if you guys are interested in pumping that up, we'll check it a couple other times throughout the night. Thank you to those who have donated, like Anonymous, Lori Watson, Ariana, Walter, P-Track M, Kenneth Williams, Jerem Davis, Anonymous, Tamara Holloway, Chris W, Jonathan Anderson, Brex X, Paul Godin, Meg W, Anonymous, Jackie Updike, Cole Ostendorf, Jorel Navarro, John Phipps, Andreas Jensen, Brandon Wilson, Spank Daddy, Jose Gonzalez, Javier Baez, Anonymous, Jose Vega. I think we're back to where we were, Anonymous and Lone Eagle. Thank you all for your donations. Thank you all. And I have finally determined the winners of the giveaway of the signed Vic posters. And I have received responses, I believe, from all of them, and they are going to be mailed in the next day or two. They'll be mailed at the latest by Friday of next week. So they will be mailed at the latest. So thank you all for your patience on that. I will ask them if I can confirm that I can announce who they are. I don't want to put out their names without their permission. So I'll ask each of them for their permission if I can name the winners, so you guys know who it was, and we'll get those posters sent out. So that's great. That was a long time ago. So much came up. I'm sorry. All right. We've got Jedi Knight Tigger says, I have wondered. Vic has denied any attraction towards Jamie, but has the question of a possible affair with Monica ever been brought up? I wonder if there was a fling, he called it off, and she's been vindictive over that. Ooh, I don't know. You'll have to... The only people who know would be Vic and Monica, I suppose. I'd say Ron would know, but we know that Monica doesn't actually share everything with Ron, despite saying she did. There's several things that Ron learned from me. Ugh, he's an info cuck even. That's embarrassing. The knives. Ken, yes, the knives. Oh god, so itchy. The knives. Do you guys I was trying to get a feeler on the knives, but maybe we should do those. Maybe we should do those now. I was kind of waiting. Oh, I know. Maybe we'll do them when the appeal brief comes in. How about that? We'll auction the knives when the appeal brief comes in. I'll see what I can set up. I'll see what I can set up. Okay. All right. So that's that. Why always so itchy? I'm itchy because I'm allergic to heat. I'm allergic to heat. Legitimately, it's called urticaria. I have chronic urticaria, and I'm between rounds of medication. I have seen a doctor. I've seen several. It's great. There's no cure for it, but there is a injectable antihistamine that I've been taking, kind of stave it off. But if my body temperature warms up, I'm itchy. All right. Here we are, guys. And maybe. Here's where we left off. This is exactly where we left off. This chat from Ron. So we'll review that chat and then we'll move on. Echo Base Network, I have not read your super chat yet because I do the $20 and higher ones right away and the other ones I wait on. Okay. So Winkface, still not a single answer or coherent explanation for the position you have held now for almost a year. Now, note, I haven't held any position that Ron is talking about. Ron has imposed a position upon me. And as a review, Ron has stated that I convinced Vic to sue him. This is Ron's theory, that I, a lawyer Vic had never met, 1,000 miles away with a YouTube channel, convinced Vic to sue Ron, who he otherwise wouldn't have sued. And Monica and Jamie and Funimation. That I masterminded and I mind raped Vic into suing them. This is Ron's theory. This is Lemoyne's theory. Make no mistake. This is their legitimate belief of how this happened. They can't process the reality of the situation they're in. That's the sad part for them. So they can't process that, so they think this is what happened. I haven't answered this question to Ron because it's funnier to just make fun of him, in my opinion. But apparently they believe that I actually convinced a man I've never met to sue people for some reason that I can't figure out. Because, like, I'm not his lawyer. I don't get the GoFundMe money or anything like that. So I don't know. I don't know what their plan is or what their reasoning is. But that's just to clarify the theory. Come on, Nick. You can do better. The thin ice you and your goons have been playing on is cracking, and the fans are seeing you for what you really are and how much you hurt him. This is his current narrative. I don't know where he's getting this. I know I don't know. I have my suspicion that he's trying to enlist the help of Animat to do it, which, I mean, you couldn't have picked a better person to run with this. But I don't know. I haven't actually seen this. And maybe people do believe it, but I'm not seeing it anywhere. So that's great. But yes, me and my goons. You're on the Goon Squad. You can try to hide behind your YouTube friends and your comic buddies. But in the end, you won't be able to outrun the inevitable. I don't know what inevitable I need to outrun is. But if it's him or Monica or Jamie Markey, I am thoroughly convinced I could outrun all of them if I was attached to an IV in a hospital. I really do hope you invest in yourself and identify your shortcomings. Ron, I'm like 8 feet taller than you. And begin to transform into a valuable member of society. Oh, like a loan officer. That's what we need. You're right, Ron. You're right. What we need is more people engaged in the act of convincing people to buy bigger and bigger homes that they can't afford, and fudging those income numbers just a little bit more to try and get that approval. You're right, Ron. That's the valuable members of society that we need. Certainly not me. Said the wife beater. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you for that. So, notice this is one of the videos that Ron had sent to me earlier, right? Ron sent to me earlier. Now I have a little mix up in my message here, which I'll go over, and I think I clarified in the subsequent message, but just want to point out, this is Ron had sent me this video earlier, and then here's the actual creator of the video, or the girl who's in it. So I was informed that my video is being used as evidence against Vic Mignogna. I want to say that I had no problem with anything that happened. I asked him to say that line for me, and I had no issue with the kiss because I knew it meant nothing. He kissed her on the back of the head, in the hair. Kissed her in the hair. Read, watch, you'll see. I stand with Vic. So this is Ron getting absolutely blown out on his claim. So I send this, hey, maybe you should read this. Also, she wasn't a minor. Now, this I don't actually know. I think she was a minor. I was conflating the other video he sent where with the coffee line from Orrin High School. That girl is apparently 25 at the taking of that video. So I was conflating those two. Oh, yeah, and I mentioned that right below. You agendized a consensual interaction between adults to destroy someone. Maybe evaluate yourself. I think that's still fair. Said, oops, I conflated two of them. I'm not sure if this consensual interaction was a minor. The other consensual interaction was 25. Good work. I mean, the point doesn't change. They're consensual interactions. They're positive engagements with fans. And nobody at all was offended except for the cuck in the corner. Right? Here we go. And here's the backtracking from Ron. I never claimed she was a minor or that they didn't give consent. Yes, you did, Brett. Yes, you did. You tried to fuck him. Yes, you did. The point is that he had a reputation for being creepy. Let's dispel this. Vic didn't have a reputation for being creepy. This is an insidious and nefarious thing. Look, when you have 100,000 fans, we'll be conservative. You have 100,000 fans and 10 people say you're creepy. That's not actually a reputation for being creepy. It isn't. Because even if there's a persistent rumor for a period of years, that's not a reputation for being creepy. The same couple people repeating a lie year after year after year doesn't give someone a reputation for being creepy. That's not how that works. Vic didn't have a reputation for being creepy, apparently, because he was still invited to cons, he was still getting work, he was still interacting with fans, he still doesn't have complaints against him at conventions or in any police department that can be found anywhere. So he doesn't have a reputation for being creepy. That's not a real thing. That is a post hoc, I'm not even going to try and remember the Latin phrase, but that is to ascribe what is presently going on to the past to justify the present. Well, he had a reputation. He didn't, though. The overwhelming majority, above 95% of people who've interacted with Vic would not have said he had a reputation for being creepy. He just wouldn't have. And they didn't. Including Monica. Including Monica and Jamie Markey. Until January 2019. You don't get to retroactively create a reputation to justify the reputation that you've given. It doesn't work that way. But anyway, I digress. I'm going too hard. While this behavior might not be illegal, it is a topic of debate because he's a public figure. Him being a public figure is a topic of debate as well. Is it a topic of debate if it's an existing reputation? Make up your mind, Ron. If it's a topic of debate, then he doesn't have a reputation. Because it's up for debate. So, nice deflection, but you still haven't answered the question of why you convinced him to sue. Knowing he had a history, he didn't though, raise money without asking first. Do you always ask first before you do anything? Also, I think a careful read of what Vic said would maybe dispel some of this. But why should I help Ron? Why should I help him understand this? If you haven't figured out why he's so repetitive, by the way, he is very repetitive, but if you haven't figured out why, you will. You and Ty Beard are going to recreate every Pulp Fiction scene with Sam Jackson, John Travolta shot for shot. Ty's on board, waiting for you, fam. I guess I have to eat the bullet and be Sam Jackson, right? Since that ship's already sailed, Ty gets out of it, and I have to be Samuel L. That's not fair. That's not fair, Ty. You have to eat that one. Then direct him to an unqualified family estate attorney. Oh, shots fired at Ty Beard. Ty, you're an unqualified family estate attorney. Hope you understand that. Now, you bragged about having such a huge head start in the lawsuit. Yeah. Yeah. Why? You have had a year plus to read opinions from actual working attorneys from around the world. That's not true, Ron. Your dumb friend attorneys even admit that they didn't enter this question until June. So even taking your stupid premise, I've only had 7 months. You do worse math than attorneys. Anyway, around the world. Oh, you're right. I really care about what Tyler fucking Wolf thinks. An Australian attorney, allegedly, with no proof to who he is or what his expertise is. I have no care in the world what that guy has to say about this lawsuit. Not only is he not a Texan lawyer, he's not a U.S. attorney, and doesn't have necessarily a firm grasp on the First Amendment. I don't care what he has to say at all. Let's see. You should be able to at least answer that simple question, Nick. Which question? It's pretty much a Fisher-Price basketball hoop layup. I'm still not even sure what question he's asking. But he's saying it's a really easy answer. Well, if it's an easy answer, why should I answer it? Except it's not an easy answer, is it? And it relies on your premise being correct. Maybe it isn't. Stacy Dealman says, maybe instead of messaging you, Ron should be asking Monica why she won't marry his ugly face. Anyway, everyone besides you two clowns who are motivated by super chats and a GoFundMe have been correct. That's not true at all, actually. Why do you think that is? Is it because you're both are a scam artist, or is it because you both are a scam artists? Or incompetent? Either way, you owe him an apology. Oh yeah. I owe Vic a lot of apologies. You're right. You're right, Ron. Let's see how many apologies I owe him. 1 second. Where are we? See how I currently owe Vic 275,044 apologies. 275,044 apologies. I apologize to you, Vic, 275,044 times. So, you're right, Ron. You're right. Let's see. You cried while playing video games. That's not true. I didn't cry. That you all are the ones who saved him. No, no, no. The fans saved him, you fucking degenerate liar. Don't you dare put that on me. I did not self-aggrandize. I do not take credit for saving him. I said them. The fans watching are the ones who saved him. The fans did it. The people who have supported him from day one. I wasn't there on day one. I didn't hear about it until it really got picked up. I wasn't there until February 11th. Other people were fighting from the moment you and your fat, ugly, nasty fiance opened her stupid mouth. They were fighting from day one. They're the people who saved him. All I did was give people a place to gather. That's it. Don't you dare put that bullshit on me. I don't carry myself with pride like that. I'm not a narcissistic piece of shit like you. Your version of Saved is an example of an Allstate Mayhem commercial. No, Ron. You haven't even seen an Allstate Mayhem commercial. If this were an Allstate Mayhem commercial, you would be crying twice a day instead of just once. Absolutely ridiculous. The worst thing that ever happened to him was meeting you. Well, good. Good. I can think of worse things that could happen to him, so he should be blessed. Have you already apologized for lighting his career on fire? No. No, you did that. Ron, you did that. I don't get to claim credit for this. I can't do it. I can't have lit his career on fire. You did. Your fat, ugly fiance did. Jamie Pimpleface Markey did. And Funimation did. And Ruby and others, of course. Or Rooster Teeth, not Ruby. Rooster Teeth did. You guys had trashed it before I even mentioned his name. And being the biggest factor in him being kicked. Literally impossible. The man was uninvited from every convention except for Matsuri before I even knew his name. By the way, Ron, after I mentioned his name, he got invited to, I think, 11 conventions last year. So, and I don't take credit for that. I'm just saying, once Vic stood up and fought back even a little bit, he got invited back. But it didn't happen until then. You do realize your harassment campaign, false, never have I harassed a single person, cemented that the fact that is too toxic to work with him because of his fans, right? No, that's not right, actually. That's the narrative you're trying to run with. You want to put blame anywhere else but you. Anywhere else but you. But you're not being harassed. Monica's not being harassed. No one's showing up at your house. No one's mailing you threatening things. No one is calling your house 10 times a day. The only harassment you've ever mentioned or Monica's ever mentioned with any substance was a internet prank phone call that racist Monica decided sounded like a scary black man and was immediately afraid. It was a prank recorded call, Ron. But Monica's a racist, and you guys are paranoid because you ruined someone's career, and you hoped he would just die alone rather than fight back. And the minute his audience said, wait a minute, no, you guys knew you were in real shit. The fans are noticing that everyone else has tried to move on. And the only time anyone chimes in is when they have to respond to some alt account pushing a BS narrative. It's always an alt account with you, Ron. You do realize your advice and referral cost him $500,000, right? Actually, no, that's not true at all. But, okay. Did you tell him he would have to pay our costs before or after he filed? I'm not his lawyer, Ron. When did he realize how bad off he was? I don't know. Probably when you ruined his career. I mean, I think that's when he realized how bad off he was. When his friends all stabbed him in the back, pissed on him in public, and hoped he died in the gutter. That's probably when he realized how bad off he was, Ron. Maybe when he lost all of his jobs and the one person he was going to turn to for help shoved a knife into his urethra and twisted it around. You're just mad that she touched his penis when she did it, aren't you? So then he gives me this video of Vic emotionally apologizing about allegations related to him. Should we watch this? Watch it real quick. Here we go. This is 11 minutes. We're not going to watch all of this. Oops. I got to get my, I got to make sure the audio's proper thing here. Why would it do this? Why you do this? Sorry.
And I learned something.
Okay, here we go.
How can I do better? And I learned something, and I wanted to share it with you. As long as I've been doing events, which is a long time,
okay,
I've always been very demonstrative. Hug everybody, you know what I mean? That's just always been.
Oh, sealed it. Serial rapist. Now we know. There, Ron wins.
Who I am. You could go back and find panels from 10 or Q&A or autograph sessions from 10 years ago, 12, 15 years ago. And I'm doing the same thing. That in my mind, it's a way of saying thank you and expressing kindness and appreciation and warmth and support for a lot of people that could use it. You know what I'm talking about when I say that.
Like, how does his hair do that? Like, does he just sit behind a jet engine after he showers? I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Sorry.
But here's what I've learned.
It's okay.
We're here for you, man.
You love me.
Just because 1,000 people want a hug doesn't mean everybody does.
This is where Vic fell for the lie. And this is the real insidious thing. They all wanted the hug. I'm going to say it right now. If they got a hug from Vic, they wanted the hug. They did. In fact, Every report you read from the people who didn't want the hug, wanted the hug, and changed their mind later. They changed their mind later. They did want the hug. This is why you don't apologize, by the way. You don't do it. Just don't. Poor Vic didn't know. He didn't know. It's a shame, but he didn't know. Notice this is posted on February 2nd. So who knows when this even happened. Yeah. I hadn't even talked to him at this point.
And I got really lazy. Over the years, I got really lazy.
No, you didn't.
And I got used to being the same person all the time.
Be the same person all the time. Vic, I love you, buddy. Be the same person. Be that person. That's fine. It's fine. If someone doesn't want a hug, they can stop you pretty dang easy. There are no reports of him hugging someone who expressed that they didn't want one. There are zero reports of him forcefully hugging someone against their will. There aren't any. There are only people who have said that later they decided, based on what other people said, that they weren't so sure about that hug now. Guess what? That was defamation in action. When you can take a positive experience that someone had and you can, through a lie, rewrite that experience to be a negative one for that person, that's the damage that defamation does. That's what it is.
And I was insensitive to the fact that there could be people out there that don't want that.
Could be. They tend to... People who don't want hugs tend to do one of two things. They don't stand in line for an hour to see someone who's giving 100 hugs in front of them. And if they do stand in that line, they say, I'm not interested in a hug, or please don't hug me, or whatever. They do that. Vic isn't leaping over the table or teleporting behind them. Nothing personal, kid. Like, I mean, this is not how this works. There are logistical issues with these ideas.
It has never, ever been my intention to offend or hurt anyone.
This is him. Again, we're going to go just like a little bit longer, but this is a problem with this apology and all apologies. Of course, it wasn't your intention to offend or hurt anyone, and we don't know of anyone who was offended or hurt. We don't know of anyone who was offended or hurt. Notice Monica Rial and Jamie Markey. This is, again, the insidious lie here. And Ron Toye are not talking about hugs. Ron is talking about assault. Hundreds of women allegedly assaulted. Not one has turned up. Hundreds of women is what Ron is talking about. Vic is apologizing for giving hugs. It's a different story. It's a different apology. But Ron is masturbatorially conflating them to retroactively justify his actions. This is a narcissist. This is what they do. They can't be responsible for damage. They can only be the savior or the hero of their story. That's it. He has to justify it.
Welcome. It has never been my intention or desire to offend anyone. And I would like...
It is my intention and desire to offend a whole lot of people, by the way. Let's get that on the table.
To think that the tens of thousands of people that I've met over the years know that.
They do, of course they do.
But there are people that don't want that kind of interaction.
They don't come up to
And
tables.
I have not been sensitive to them. I see that.
No. Whoops. You don't see that. That's smoke and mirrors, Vic. That's an illusion. That's a card trick. You didn't see that. They created a narrative and sold it to you to destroy you. This is the worst part of this, guys. This is the insidious part of this. And this is why I despise these people and want them ground down into dust, or probably more accurately tallow, right? Probably ground down into tallow. Just giant globs of fat. Alex Stone says, I'm done with this video clip, by the way. I hope these evil jackasses get what they deserve when everything is said and done. There's no way people can be so evil and get away with it. Harry Steers says, again, my wife is making me send this. So you're saying everyone wanted the Struggle Snuggle? Also, she is disappointed there is no Struggle Snuggle merch. I think Struggle Snuggle merch would be opposed to Teespring's terms of service. So I can't do that. You can't, they're really sensitive on stuff like the rape jokes. Even though it's not a rape joke, but it would be classified that way is what I mean. So, just need a body pillow that says snuggle on or struggle on it, right? That'd be good. Random Blaze says, damn it, Nick, you woke up Low T by mentioning him. He called Vic a pedophile and sexual predator 3 times today and called Ty a notary fraud. Quit mentioning Low T so we can have less than 400 tweets a day. You never will. You never will have less than 400 tweets a day. Perception Check says, dropping in to remind people of the timeline here. Vic made his first Twitter apology and this public Bach anime apology before he knew what Monica, Jamie et al. Were about to accuse him of. Bach anime apology was also fresh off his termination from Funimation over a goddamn jelly bean. He was probably really confused and hurt. Yes. Yes, of course. Of course he was. Joshua Vidrine says, Ron peddles falsehoods like he learned from the father of lies himself. How I wish we could rip and tear him and his kind until not even the pits of hell can hide them from righteous fury. We'll leave that to the court for now. JXDBX says, holy asterisk hit. I was going to joke and say I wanted a grape hug from Vic. After watching a couple minutes, I just want to give that man a hug. To Ron, is this supposed to be damaging? Bring this to court, soy boy, a real man would. Oh my God. If only. If Ron brings the videos, if this thing comes back from appeals and it goes to a jury trial and Ron brings these videos to show the jury about how much of a monster this man was, Ty won't even have to try. Like, he won't even have to bring a case. They may crucify Ron in the courtroom. I'm being hyperbolic. I'm sure Law Twitter is going to run with that because they're very smart. But I'm being hyperbolic here. But, oh my God, yeah. Put videos of Vic saying, I'm sorry, I might have at one point hugged someone somewhere who may not have wanted one, but I don't know. And I'm so sorry if I ever anywhere accidentally hugged one person who didn't like it. Put that in front of a normal person at 10 days out of 10. Oh my God. Yeah. Put that. May my enemies be this stupid. Oh, thank God I'm out of Jack. Sorry, I'm pouring myself a little cloud splitter. I got like 1.5 shots left of it. Stuff has been good. I am just saying. Just saying. Get some Fireball. I hate Fireball whiskey. Okay, let's real quick. Let's 275.44. Let's take a peek at the donations that came in. Major Zero, thank you. Gabriella Sawicki, Giovanni Alonso, Ian Batt, Adam Biden Stinnett, Fahim Nazamuddin, Boo Cat, Tamara Holloway, Ernest Vaughn, Jacob Buchanan, Jesse Fritz, Anonymous. Thank you all for your contributions. We've broken $275,000. It is, it's amazing. It really is truly amazing. Back to this. Remember, you encouraged him that suing after this video had been released was a good idea. Lol, brilliant, absolutely brilliant legal work, journalist. Now let me point something out, because I don't think Ron knows, and it's not his fault. Ron, none of the merits of this case have been tested, including your theory that this is somehow exculpatory for you. None of that has happened. Right now, Vic's claims were defeated by a procedural motion that has nothing to do with any evidence you presented against Vic. I don't think Ron understands this, which is weird. Because he's got a lawyer who knows this. But the evidence, whatever it is, which this isn't it, by the way, they didn't introduce this. The evidence, such as it were, brought against Vic by them wasn't a factor in the decision. Chup's job was to determine if Vic brought enough evidence to court, and Chup determined that he didn't. I think that's a mistake. The appeals court will determine what the mistake, if there was a mistake or not. That'll be the appeals court. That's their job to figure that out. I think Chup's incorrect. But importantly, none of these apologies, none of the videos, none of it, at this point, has been a basis of that decision. It's not in Chup's order. It wasn't brought up at the hearing by Chup in any sort of way. Chup asked for evidence and he wasn't satisfied with the answers he got, period. So again, I don't know why they're all like dunking on this. At this point, this is an untested theory of theirs that this is somehow contraindicative of victory for Vic. But they don't know that. That's just their theory. It hasn't been shown in court. It hasn't been tested. But I guess I'm the brilliant legal work. Am I a lawyer or a journalist? He can't ever decide. He uses journalist, I guess, pejoratively here. I'll take it as a compliment. Journalists are scum-sucking sacks of garbage, which puts them slightly above lawyers. I'll take it all day. Nothing wrong with a person owning up to their stuff. Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot wrong with owning up to stuff you didn't do. The issue comes when the person flips the script and decides to sue. Oh, what's this? I don't even know what this is. I don't know what this is from, but this is interesting. Lemoyne, who spoke by phone Tuesday. Oh, this is probably the Dallas Morning News article. Ron, didn't Markey basically write this article for you? Suggested that Rekieta's conduit more closely resembles a pipe bomb and was designed as such. As evidence, he points to Rekieta's online comment from February 15th, 2019, just days before the GoFundMe launched. Oh, see, this is great. This is great. Oh, I know what this is. This is from the Minnesota Lawyer article, the one I haven't even read. This is funny because this is completely untrue. My online comment from February 15th. Guys, I'm working on some stuff that I can't disclose. But Rekieta wrote, but if I am successful, it will weaponize my channel in the culture war to a level far beyond right now while providing massive amounts of content. This is true, and that thing I was working on absolutely fell apart. Absolutely crumbled. It was great. Spectacularly crumbled. And when something spectacularly crumbles in the realm of content creation, that means that it falls apart with nary even a whimper. Rip my idea. My project that I was working on would have been so much bigger culturally than this. Not in anime, nothing to do with anime. I wasn't really paying attention to anime. I was barely paying attention to the Vic thing. In fact, I think that's before I even talked to Vic on the phone. Because I set up the GoFundMe days later. God, I don't even know. I don't even know the specific timeline. Really a shame. But no, I wish it was in the, this is in the political culture war. I was more involved in the kill stream community, and it was adjacent to that type of stuff. We're talking the alt-right versus the control left stuff here. We're talking about bringing down major organizations and all sorts of fun things. It didn't materialize. Damn. Would have been fun. Rekieta waves that off. I did. Saying Lemoyne misunderstands the post. Wasn't even about the Mignogna case, he said, but a related lawsuit that never saw the light of day. No one will believe this, he said, but it's true. That's right. That's what I said. Did Vic know you were using him? Yeah, it was for another lawsuit, lol. Yeah, Ron. It was. It was absolutely for another lawsuit. I wish I could remember the exact day that I spoke to Vic. I wish I could remember. Oh well. Maybe I'll have to prove it out some point. Probably, if it gets past appeals, we'll have to revisit that. Oh, later, Ty. Later, Ty. How did it fall apart? The suit never materialized. Sad. I hadn't even read this. I didn't even read this when I responded. That's annoying. I would have made fun of him more for that. Ron, with all due respect, you lied about him. Other people lied about him. You're here rewriting your actions to justify your lies about him. You're overstating the supposed reputation. The overwhelming majority of people have no problem, and despite his reputation and your boasts of evidence, every single thing you've posted has been a consensual, positive interaction within boundaries that you say he is violating. That's a lie, Ron. It's a lie, of course. I want those chat logs, Nikki. That's why you don't tease stuff unless it's 100% amateur. To be fair, that wasn't a tease that was public. It was in my $20+ Patreon only chat on Discord. So here we go. This is November 29th, 2019. Andrea Hart, I miss you, Gabs, says, hello, Vic Mignogna groped me and a friend of mine when he came to a convention in Puerto Rico when I was 14 years old. So this has been a thing he has been known to do for over 15 years. But yeah, sure, y'all keep defending him. And then Mastery of the Law, Twitter.com, Michael Toole. I don't know what that is. There are so many stories like this one out there. Man, it's almost like he needed PR and help, like he said he was getting. not a lame journalist saving his career. Oh no. Oh no. By the way, this right here, Ron doesn't understand PR or journalism. Clearly doesn't understand PR or journalism based on that sentence. Ron, the overwhelming majority of PR involves journalists, you fucking idiot. Like, Ron, what do you think? How do you think the public gets the relations? It's forced on them through journalists raping a story into their brains. Like, that's literally how it happens. Oh my God. All right, let's read this one. Oh my gosh, we have so much left. Remember that you have claimed to have hundreds of instances of evidence, and literally everything you have referenced has been the opposite. You're a liar, and a malicious one. Your narcissism compels you to save other people from your problems, but they might not have those problems. Also, you can keep repeating your theory about me convincing Vic or BHBC being unqualified, but it won't make it any more correct. You're a damaged person, but that doesn't mean everyone else is damaged in the same way. It's not your job, and you definitely aren't qualified to save anyone. Nova Zero says, Ron, get your Law Führer and log into Minecraft. You raised your remote, now lay on it. Oh, and have Lemon Führer hold your sword while you fail at Minecraft. Oh, hey, Nick. Hey, thanks. Hey, Nova Zero, how are you, buddy? Well, let's see what's next. We tried to help him, and you twisted it. We shall see. Wink. There it is. There's the wink face. There's a wink face here, too. I missed it because highlight. Wink face. Wink face. That tweet from an anonymous source post-dates your statements by 9 months, genius. Man, with friends like you helping me, I'd be praying for a noose. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Maybe throwing someone's career and reputation in a dumpster isn't the best way to help them. He still doesn't get it. He still has the savior complex that he did this as a favor to Vic. That destroying Vic was the favor that he gave him. There are tons and tons of them, bud. You know that. You have receipts. Funny, I have the opposite receipts, but stuff no one knew about. Lawsuit wasn't filed. You assumed to know me. What were my words to him? What did my email read? Why didn't you cover that on your show? Oh, it didn't fit your narrative. I'm not actually sure if I've ever even seen this email. I legit don't know. I don't remember. I might have it. I don't recall. I don't recall if I've ever seen the email. I may have. I could look it up. I'll look it up for the next show and see if I have it. I think if I have it, I've probably shown it. If I didn't, there would be, it wouldn't be a narrative reason. If I didn't show it, it's probably one of two things. If I've seen it and didn't show it, it wasn't mine to show at the time. Like I didn't have any permission to release it. If I even saw it, again, I don't know. Or I got it, saw it, and then something happened, and I didn't think it was relevant to really talk about it at the time, and then forgot about it. Because I still don't know what email he's talking about. But I've shown other emails. I've shown Monica's emails. I just don't know if I ever showed one from Ron. And I legit don't even know what it would say. So I don't know if I've even seen it. But see, Ron thinks that I am Vic's agent. That I have seen everything that Vic has and all this stuff. That's not true. It's never been true. His voicemail to Vic was covered. Yep. Gosh, I wish I could I wish I could get my hands on a copy of that voicemail and play it. That would be funny. The Ron Toye Guide to Helping Drowning People. Put your foot on their head and hold them under. Top shelf. Are you projecting again? Because you are more of a fire guy. Burned it to the ground. That. This man is not... He's not a word craftian. He's not a word craftian. Honestly, this is an honest question to Ron that he doesn't answer. How much champagne would you have guzzled if he had eaten a bullet? Oh wait, no, I think he does answer it, but I don't believe his answer. Did you and Monica even consider the damage it would do to him mentally to have his trusted friend publicly call him a sexual abuser? No, word craftian, not a wordsmith. Wordsmiths are amateurs. Wordsmiths are rank amateurs. Gay and still at large says, gonna be basic bitch and quote Dark Knight. What were you trying to prove? That deep down, everyone's as ugly as you are? Or as ugly as you? You're alone. I don't know, I don't even know who says that in that movie. Is it Batman? Should I have been yelling? What were you trying to prove? Should I have been doing that? Anyway, here we go. Remember that email I sent him? Wink face. How can you try to twist my intentions? Because you're awful. There's no twisting needed, Ron. You're a terrible, terrible, terrible human being. Your idea of helping someone was to cut off their income, ruin their reputation, cut out the support of their fans and friends and colleagues. You are the worst help anyone could have asked for. That's like, I can't make that joke. I can't even make that joke. Let me think. It's Black History Month, okay? That's like asking to get out of asking someone to help you out of slavery, so they chop your head off. That's your help, Ron. You're terrible. You're an awful, awful, nasty, vindictive human. At best, you were so stupid that you thought it would be beneficial to cut off every pillar of support this person had and think that that would be healthy for them. I would have been horrified for his fans and him. Oh, if he ate a bullet. Sure you would have. Sure you would have. That is why I reached out to him. Even though he hurt my fiance, my personal fiance. We both wanted him to get help because he can be a great guy. You got in the way of that. How? How did I get in the way of anything? I never met the guy until July. July, Ron. Your fiance was friends with him for 2 decades. How could I get in the way? Let's be very clear on something here. To my knowledge, these dumbasses have never reached out to settle. Not early on, not midway through, not late, never. Never once. They've claimed to want to help Vic. They've claimed to want to heal the anime community. They claimed that they didn't want to, destroy anybody. They didn't want any of this stuff. They just wanted him to get help. They never, ever reached out for settlement. The only person in the entire lawsuit who reached out for settlement at all was Chuck Huber on his own. On his own. That's it. Nobody else. Anyway. Did you guys, here's me. Did you guys have a conversation before you started this nonsense and consider the impact to the man you set out to save by calling him a sexual predator or saying you would assault him? Because remember, Ron said he said flat out that he would have punched Vic in the face or whatever, but Monica stopped him. And then he also said he has a tweet out there where he said, if I had known this in LA, things would have been much different or whatever. How'd that chat go? I'm curious about this. I want to know about the discussion they had before they started their online smear campaign. I really want to know about it. People were calling Monica a liar. Yeah. Yeah. I was defending her. Oh, big brave man. Very brave. Going out on Twitter and calling someone a sexual predator to defend your wife, not wife, your never wife, from being called a liar. That's how you do it. You know what? Actually, if someone accused Lady Rackets of lying, what I would immediately do is I would go on Twitter. If some person I've never met, an anonymous person on Twitter, called Lady Rackets a liar, what I would do is I would go on Twitter and call Arnold Schwarzenegger a pedophile and a sexual predator. That's what I would do. Well, sexual predator might be true on Arnold. Okay. I would call, God, I'm trying to think of a Hollywood person who isn't a sexual predator. My point is, Vic wasn't calling Monica a liar. So why is Ron defending Monica by calling Vic a sexual predator? What kind of logic is that? But like I said in my email, I wanted to work things out and offer an olive branch. You twisted it. How did I twist it? How did I twist it if I didn't cover it? Monica said it in her letter. You don't know us, man. No, thank God. If I knew you, I'd be dousing myself in holy water, surrounding my house in salt, and praying that you don't get in. God. Did you have a chat about it? Did you talk about the potential consequences? You say you wanted to save him. Did you discuss what would happen if you lied and called him a predator? And if Monica lied about a convention they went to over a decade prior? I left off the why and they. Dang it. Curses. Notice what he's doing here. He's not answering this question at all. He is not answering this question. Not interested in that, is he? Vasily App says, spend some time arguing with Twitter Law yesterday. I thought you exaggerated their stupidity for comedic purpose, but now I know you downplay it to stay believable. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, in just a minute, we got to look at these Mike Dunford tweets because they are an absolute travesty. But I am not here to get you to understand or like us. He's literally been trying to do that the entire time. The entire time. You don't know us. We were trying to save him. We're good. You have a show to run, but have you noticed I haven't leaked our conversation? I mean, Ron. Yes, you have. I don't buy this for a minute. Now, he hasn't leaked it on Twitter, but I'm betting he's leaked it to Lemoyne. I'm betting money he's given it to Lemoyne. I bet he's given it to Greg Doucette. Probably Shane. I am not trying to push an agenda. Let's remember this. This pile of garbage. If you need any more evidence that this man is a chronic liar, there's none better. You can go back through this entire conversation. I'm not trying to push an agenda. Holy shit. Whoa. Whoa. While you subsequently do. He goes on and on. This entire conversation, he's mad that I'm not answering his questions. What agenda, Ron? I'm just making fun of you. Up until this question, basically, I've just been making fun of you. Ridicule. It's the same thing I've been doing for a year. Ridicule. I find it cathartic. If you cared about Vic, you would honor his request to stop the harassment, but you continue. Ask your lawyer what harassment even is. Again, I haven't harassed a single person. I never once have initiated contact with Ron or Monica. I don't know if I've even ever tagged them. I might have tagged them one time. But I didn't message them. I didn't mail them. I didn't email them. I didn't call them. I have not done anything. I didn't show up at their house. I haven't showed up at cons. I've discouraged other people from doing any of those things. Still doesn't know what harassment is, even though that Monica has tweeted out what the definition of harassment is. We didn't have to worry about lying, Nick, because that never happened. I don't seem to understand how you miscalculated that factor. I wasn't miscalculated, homie. What if we were telling the truth? Simple, you aren't. I've seen no evidence of truth. Not a shred of it. I've seen lots of evidence of lies. Again, this is one of those complex human interactions. You saw it with Tonka. Saw it with Perfection. To NBA's credit, didn't see it with him. I don't know if we saw it with Shane or not. It was a little different scenario. But with Tonka and Perfection specifically, people can come to a conversation and they can lie to your face for hours and then tell you that they didn't lie. Like, bitch, I know you're lying. You've been lying to me the whole time, and I know you're lying about this. Now you're going to try and convince me that because you've been truthful here, that you were truthful there, but you've been lying here. You just thought I didn't know you were lying. Like, that's the difference. Perfection and Tonka thought that I didn't know they were lying. They just kept up the lie. I just didn't let them know what the truth was. I didn't feel the need to educate them on the truth. They knew the truth. I just let them keep lying. They get to build their own credibility. Ron's been here lying to me for days and days and days. Why would I believe that he's telling the truth about the past if he can't tell the truth in the present? Did you discuss with him the costs if we were telling the truth or if he couldn't prove we lied? Oh, buddy. This isn't how this works. If we get to this, you're in front of a jury, and at that point the costs are legal fees. Not your legal fees, just his. You haven't had this happen yet. This hasn't happened. If they get past appeals, this will happen, but your bill will be massive. And Vic won't be paying it, even if he loses. It seems Twitter knows. Your account was suspended, so there's that for the harassment thing. Oh, he got me. My account was suspended because I called some weirdo a mean name. Mitchell Horton, by the way, is who I called. I called him a mutant. That was apparently, that violated Twitter's harassment policy. I guess it's mean to make fun of the disabled. That was probably harassment, just guessing. Well, you certainly aren't speaking from authority or knowledge. I know that much. But tell me about the chat you had with Monica about entering the fray to help Vic. I'm genuinely curious how that conversation went. I mean, I'm really curious to know if they had a discussion before they did any of this. And then, that's not harassment, that's ridicule. Learn the different. It's difference. In phones. I hate phones. Abradolf Honkler says, your effort to maintain this conversation with that boil on the taint of humanity is to be commended or condemned. Alas, being but a simple clown, I'm not quite sure which. Look. I'm trying to get to the depths of idiocy that is Ron Toye. I want to learn what makes this man tick. Super Ranged 128 says, I'm the one who uploaded the Vic apology video Ron is trying to persuade you with. Was a sad day. I want to rename the video title to Ron is a soy boy who beats wives with universal remotes. P.S. Please consider subscribing. Yeah, guys, go check out Super Range 128's channel. Subscribe to it. Check out the video content there. Thanks for speaking up. To you, but harassment is determined by the other person. Okay, we're back. I don't know what happened there. The mic just decided to shut off. That happened to me earlier today too. I really don't want to buy another mic input. So anyway, harassment is determined by the other person. No, it isn't. No, it isn't at all. It is absolutely not determined by the other person. Harassment has a legal standard. You do not get the right to dictate how another person feels. No, I don't. I've never said you do. What are you talking about? You can read her public statement. She wanted him to get help and make a comeback. Ron, her public statement is the biggest it's either she's lying or she's stupid. You guys labeled him a sexual predator and sexual assaulter in public over and over and over again. There isn't a comeback after getting help. There isn't. That's not how it works. Oh, you're right. I am a sexual abuser. I'll go talk to a therapist and then come back. I won't sexual abuse again. That's But you claim you care about him and that Monica cared about him. Did you have a chat? Did you consider the impact of publicly calling him a sexual predator? Did you talk about what that might do to him? I want the answer to that question. Whew, those promised answers dried up quick. This is me talking. Remember, Ron promised to answer my questions early on. I'm gonna throw that in his face in a second, but Ron promised to answer my questions. Promised answers dried up quick. Guess your facade of pretending to care is crumbling when you realize you didn't even consider or discuss how things would impact the person you tried to save by ruining him. Remember, I tried. I left him a voicemail too. Guys, how many lives have you saved via voicemail? How many lives have you saved via voicemail? Me, personally, I save hundreds of millions of lives a day by voicemail. I just voicemail everything. Once I send that voicemail, I know they're saved. It's in the Bible, too. But I see you're just trying to cover your butt because you know that the fans are identifying you as a problem. I mean, the fans may identify me as a problem. That is a risk that's always been out there. What am I going to do? Like, if that happens, then that happens. There's nothing I can do about that. I haven't even tried to persuade anyone that I'm not the problem. I don't think I'm the problem. I think the people who burned his career to the ground in public are the problem. That's me. Other people can make their own minds. It is obvious you can't answer the questions because no matter how you do, it ends with you being the problem. Yes. Yes, Ron, your Kafka trap has got me. You should have left this to the professionals. 90 lawyers have been telling you for a year, but you won't listen. Those 90 people aren't lawyers, Ron. A couple of them are lawyers. A couple of them. Many of them are law students. Lots of them are fat, like Catherine Tewson. And by fat, I mean she's not a lawyer or a paralegal. She's a groupie to people like T. Greg. Try and eye bleach that out of your mind if you can. Just remember, you encouraged this. I mean, who am I to change his mind? We didn't want to go to court, but if he chose to, we would stand our ground. Ron, you threatened to take him to court. You threatened to take him to court. He could have ended it all at any point, but trusted you and his team. It's sad. I will interpret this uncharitably as Ron saying he could have ended it by suicide at any point. Because that's the only place. It's the only place. Remember, Vic had apparently, according to Ron, Vic had apologized and had promised to get better, which now was sufficient. It wasn't sufficient back then, but now Ron is alleging that Vic's apology to do better and reconnect with God was a good start. Did they let up? No, they doubled down, and that was before I even said his name. Their tweets, Ron's tweets are still from February single digits. The first time I ever discussed this was February 11th and just with Doug. It wouldn't be another 2 days, February 13th, I believe, that I had the panel discussion in which I still didn't know anything about Vic. Didn't know anything about Vic on the 11th or the 13th. Didn't know anything about it. Ron had already tweeted something like 60 times at this point that Vic was a predator. Again, blaming me, rewriting history. Could have ended it at any point. How? You guys weren't going to let him go until he's dead. Oh, the itching. I'm so pissed. I'm angry. I'm worked up. I'm pissed off. And it makes me itchy. Makes me itchy. Andrew Young says, walk across Canada my rear. It's a 7-day drive. Looking forward to meeting you in Kitchener. Dinner plans? It depends on the day. I don't know. I get there Friday. Saturday and Sunday is the con. And I leave Monday evening. Have a bottle of maple whiskey for you. But sounds like the con needs help, so I'm volunteering to do my part. Hashtag for the fans. Awesome. Awesome. Volunteers who do not suck are great. RoboNext666 says, quote, you do not get the right to dictate how another person feels, says the person taking offense on everyone else's behalf. Of course. James Spoon says, wait, I thought the purpose of lawyers was to disagree with each other. Not if you listen to Law Twitter. A hive mind of stupidity. Okay, anyway. Trusted you and his team. Yes, he trusted his team. I don't know that he ever trusted me. He trusted his team over the people who ruined his life. Shocker. Through lies, Vic again has maintained that none of this stuff ever happened, including your fat fiance's lies. Yeah, but did you and Monica consider and discuss the damage you're going to do to this man in the quest to save him? Still, I'm going to keep asking the question. I'm patient. Since you won't or can't answer a single question and are deflecting, I will take it that you concede the lawsuit was a horrible idea. That's a weird approach to take. Like, you didn't answer me in the way I wanted, so I win. This is Ron. Remember that Ron accused me of not understanding logic at the beginning of this. So in your expert opinion, filing this lawsuit, this bitch is trying to get my expert opinion without paying for it. My expert opinion costs money, Ron. In your expert opinion, filing this lawsuit, given his history at conventions, him hosting rumor panels, his public apologies, videos where he admits to really messing up, was in his best interest? If so, how do you overcome the matter of public concern? Does he not understand that you can still defame somebody in a matter of public concern? Like, you can do that. That's still a thing that's possible. Since he started the debate with his public apology while being a public figure, that's not starting the debate at all, actually. Reminder, just in case the whiskey hasn't worn off. Wow. This is the funniest thing. Lol, you drink. Lol, you drink. That's the big arguments coming from Law Twitter right now, by the way. Lol, you drink. So do you guys. He mentioned in his public statement that he was getting help and reconnecting with God. He also, in that exact same statement, denied all of the allegations you accused him of, Ron. All of them. Denied them all. Flat out, categorically denied it. You're right, Diamond Duck. Lawyers pass the... Well, lawyers only pass up one bar. Only pass one bar. Damn it, I screwed that joke up. Boomer. Ron, you may think you're good at asking questions, but if you're consistently frustrated by how people answer, maybe you're the problem. I don't know. Seems fair. You haven't answered the question, wink face. But you're a liar. You said you'd answer my questions. Now notice this all happened at like the same time. I'm not actually responding to this. You said you'd answer my questions, and you've avoided telling me if you or Monica ever considered and discussed the impact this would have on the man you profess to save. I think that's fair. Boring, Nick. We didn't file the lawsuit. He did. Wait. What does that have to do with what I just asked? You are the great crusader. Explain how the lawsuit was in his best interest. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What answer you didn't ask a question? I have asked you many, but you use a basic diversion tactic. Would you answer mine? I will answer yours. I will answer yours. That's a declarative statement. He will answer my questions, right? Why are you a liar? You see, when you file a lawsuit, you have to be prepared to win. Again, you lack the understanding of the above statement. Did you miss the part where I said, if you answered my original question, I would answer yours? That's not what you said, Ron. Would you answer mine? I will answer yours. That's it. There's no if then. This idiot, he has no idea what he even says. It's right there. Look at this. I will answer yours is 4 words. If you answered my original question, I would answer yours is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 words. They're facially vastly different statements. I know this is hard for you, but try. You did pay money to go to law school. Oh, I paid money to go to law school now? I thought law school just fell into my lap and because I'm rich or whatever. Did I pay? I don't know. I don't even know anymore. Oh, this is Ron Toye. Essaron, this is him. I can prove it. Here it is. Ron Toye. Notice it's a locked account at Ron Toye. That's him. Don't be fooled. This is the legit account. Now maybe he handed it off to some troll or something. That could be a theory, but this is him, buddy. I love when people like try to dunk on my education or whatever when they're flatly incorrect. You didn't make a conditional statement. You made one statement following a question that aren't intrinsically linked. It should be isn't intrinsically linked. There's no conditional language at all. His brain exploded, and then he says, ask for a refund from your law school. I'm now convinced they are to blame. How is my law school to blame for your inability to English properly? This is, Okay, I want to take a moment. Let's take a look at the GoFundMe. We're at $275,059. We've got Daddy-O Spanks, Philip Kilroy adding to the donation pool. Thank you so much. You guys are fantastic. Absolutely great. Let me pull up these tweets by Mike Dunford real quick. And then we might do another just another comment or two from Ron. And then we'll close it out. This isn't too much longer. I just got to get them pulled up here. So here's the here's the problem Mike's got. All right. So I want to highlight something here with Mike. Don't turn down the law school refund. That's a good point. I should ask for a refund from that. You guys made me not smart. I need a refund. So this guy is here. I think this goes up to me. Oh my god. Never mind. I'm not gonna do it. This EBS guy is one of the dumbest people I've ever met. Business law, tomfoolery, terrible at video games, reasonable with a light snark glaze. I'm correct, but it's still not legal or financial advice. Okay, buddy. Look at that. Look at that. That's your guy right there. Okay. And notice he's got cookies and scotch or whiskey of some sort. Because, lol, you drink. Right? Lawyer drinking is the biggest news ever. So here we go. As far as judge's decision, Studio Enforced Heterosexual Dragon says, Nick and Ty were saying anything can happen in court for the start. I think it means from the start. Claiming otherwise is just another lie you guys seem stuck with. Yeah. I've said multiple times, once you get into court, you never know how a judge can have a bad day. A jury cannot go your way. This is obvious. Everybody knows that court is a question of risk. It's a question of risk. There's not much else to say about it. Court is risk. Settlement is the mitigation of risk. But listen to this. Actually, the lie was saying anything can happen in court. That's simply blatantly untrue. What happens in court is limited by the facts of the case and the law. Lawyers make a career out of predicting what will happen in court. Oh, Mike. Oh, Mike. So my response is, Mike, this is stupid, even for you. Even for you. And of course, a tuba is playing in the background. Here's the thing. Mike Dunford, by his own admission, doesn't practice law, okay? This is not a slight. Lots of lawyers do not practice. Lots and lots of lawyers out there don't practice. They go into business, they go into all sorts of other things. They use their law degree in various other ways. That's fine. But here's Mike talking about what happens in court, but Mike doesn't go to court. And from what I've seen, Mike has even less courtroom experience than me. I have never claimed to be more than I am, ever. Ever. I work in a small town. My practice area is largely petty criminal defense, low-level infractions. Now, people say traffic stuff. I don't actually do traffic violations very often. I don't know if I've done any of them. I typically am dealing with misdemeanor assaults, misdemeanor domestic assaults. I'm doing disorderly conducts, some felony drug possessions, stuff like that. Lower level crimes, felony theft or misdemeanor thefts. That's my main courtroom practice areas. I've done a little bit of personal injury and landlord-tenant disputes, stuff like that, and gotten pretty good results on everything. But I don't have a wealth, this vast pool of experience. I've never, ever claimed to have more than I've got. Never once, never misrepresented it. Other people make assumptions and then change that assumption and then blame me for that assumption that I had nothing to do with. That's on them. I don't know. I look fairly young. I think I look younger than I am. So people probably don't expect me to be a 25-year attorney. I hope not. Dear God. Ugh. But anyway, I've never misrepresented my experience. Ever. Mike has even less, from what I can tell. And says that he doesn't want to practice. But he's been talking a lot over the past couple days about practice, the practice of law, and what goes on in a courtroom. Mike, you idiot. Of course anything can happen in court. If anything couldn't happen, if it was limited by the facts of the case and the law, then appeals courts wouldn't exist. We wouldn't need them. Wouldn't need them at all. In Vic's case, there was always a possibility that he would lose a TCPA. Always. There still is. As I said from the beginning, look, there's a possibility that this doesn't go his way at that anti-SLAPP hearing. There's a possibility that he doesn't get anything overturned on appeals. You don't know. There's a lot running against him. The TCPA is a mess. It's a mess. But he can also win. There's still two possible outcomes. That never has changed. Just because it went the way that you wanted it to go doesn't change it in any sort of fashion. But here's the thing, Mike. Lawyers don't make a career out of predicting what will happen in court. Lawyers make a career out of making the outcome they need happen in court. Do you guys, look, someone comes up and stabs you. Do you pay a lawyer to tell you what might happen in court and predict with accuracy what will happen in court? Or do you pay a lawyer to go in and convince a judge or jury to award you money because the person stabbed you? What the hell is this? What is this? This guy's a moron. And 25 morons have liked this. They're in solidarity now, and that's because I retweeted it. Let's see. What do we got here? What do we got? Oh, here we go. So we've got here, this is the result of huffing your own farts to the point of hallucinating. This is an absurd position. It underscores the problem of academic groupthink. This is a huge problem. Academic groupthink. Law Twitter is, in and of itself, a problem. They're a symptom of a problem, I should say. Law Twitter, the idea that lawyers are a cohesive group is antithetical to lawyers, for one thing. We're disgruntled disagreeable assholes. We're not a cohesive group. If you do have a cohesive group of lawyers, it's probably in sadness, and this isn't a joke, in sadness, addiction, depression, and suicidal thoughts. That's the cohesive group of lawyers out there. That's the cohesive thinking lawyers. Lawyers disagree all the time on facts, on law, on everything. They just disagree. That's their job. They're paid to do it. They're paid to disagree, articulate those disagreements in a persuasive way. They're not paid to accurately predict the risk. I mean, there is some of that in the consultation to accurately predict the risk. The lawyers who make a career aren't the ones who are accurately predicting the risk. They're the ones who are predicting the risk and then either overcoming the risk, helping their clients navigate that risk, or abiding by the risk with class. One of those three options, basically. You either see the risk and then you go and you destroy it. You see the risk and you accept the risk and then settle. Or you see the risk and you take your chances and lose. But you lose in a way that hopefully honors your client and fulfills their wishes. That's what you do. It's not about the prediction. It's about the action. This is crazy. This guy is one of the dumbest people I've ever seen. Hands down, one of the dumbest people I've ever seen. But let's see if his theory holds up. Ugh. Oh, I'm not going to be able to find this. These people tweet so much. So much. Oh, this is kind of funny. This exchange, by the way, part of the reason I think dealing with sanctions through an evidentiary hearing this way isn't ideal. Collect the evidence on paper, have a hearing only if necessary, and then submit argument. So here, he's mad that that they got this. Wait a minute. So you're mad that what? Mad that Mignana's being cross-examined? That there's objections? Mad that, see. What he's mad about an evidentiary hearing on sanctions. But he was talking the other day that evidentiary hearings on sanctions were how it all works, and that Lemoyne was forced to call Vic to this evidentiary hearing. Okay. I don't know. This is a weird guy. I don't get him. I don't understand him. This guy presumes that he will teach students. That's what bothers me. But I'm trying to find the we get paid bit. See if I can find this. Oh, God, it's all of these other people. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can find this real quick. I should have snipped this out the other day when I saw it. It was a couple days back. I just go through his timeline. But the amount of tweeting these people do. Is insane. Let's see. Oh my God. I just want to point this out. Let me show you guys this. Okay, so this tweet is 7 hours ago. Okay? 1, 2. This is not tweets and replies. These are tweets on his main page. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 tweets in 1 hour. In the 7 hour window. 8 hours. 1. Oh, he only had 1 back then. Thank God. Thank God. Apparently, it's stupid to suggest that what happens in court is limited by trivial things like facts and laws. Maybe it's stupid to suggest that lawyers make careers based on their ability to predict what happens in court. Who knew? Lawyers knew. Frankly. But that's also, that's fine. Look at all these tweets. 10 hours, 10 hours, 11 hours, 13 hours, 13 hours. So many tweets. So many tweets. Ugh. So many. These are all today. Oh, God. Here's yesterday. Look at all these tweets. These are all February 5th. What do these people do all day? This isn't counting his replies. Look at this. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. Okay, I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry. Sorry. I was trying to find his thing. I don't know where it was. I don't remember. Talking about we lawyers get paid for whatever. There's no evidence. There's no evidence that Mike Dunford has been paid to argue with anybody. No one has ever produced that. I'm still trying to find it. I gotta stop. I gotta stop. Hammer time. I gotta stop. I can't take it anymore. Whew. No, Esseron, I'm not gonna search through his stuff tonight. I can't do it. My brain is melting. And I got to wrap up a show. I can't sit and do this. Let's read a couple more of Ron's tweets, and then we'll wrap it up. So the particular tweet I was looking for was Mike Dunford saying that lawyers like to argue and practice arguing, and they get paid to make arguments. He said, we. I haven't seen any evidence that Mike Dunford's ever been paid to make any argument. So I just found that amusing. Vasily App says the debate strategy is just overload you with nonsense, writing whatever until you just give up. Yeah. Wonder if it works in court. It can actually. You can just piss off a judge to the point where they don't want to hear it. Can't change the currency, by the way. Feels like cheating. It's like $7. Well, YouTube thinks it's 20 plus, so I'm with it. Who am I to ask questions? Okay. So anyway, back to this is him saying I should refund my law school. Okay. So I spoke too much in a row. It's my own fault. Your underlying premises to your questions are self-defeating. You are applying your theory on reality and asking questions premised. Thank you, phone, for autocorrecting premise to premises on that theory. Contrast that with me. I am asking a question based on your own premise that you and Monica profess to say Vic. I asked if you ever considered and discussed the impact of calling him a sexual predator like 30 times publicly. Now, what I'm saying here is Ron has decided that I did X, Y, and Z, and now he's asking me why I did X, Y, and Z. I'm not answering because I don't accept his premise. His premise is incorrect. I've told him that it's a fantasy, that it's a fan fiction, that it's ridiculous. I've told him all of these things. He keeps asking me. But my question is premised in Ron's reality. You say that you and Monica wanted to save him. I accept this. Did you have a conversation about saving him by calling him a sexual predator? And if you did, what did that conversation look like? That's all. I'm accepting his premise and asking a question in there. Ron doesn't actually understand this because Ron's book list is a set of texts about being superficially relational, not about actually thinking and critically analyzing anything. Diamond Duck, don't put words in my mouth. I'm asking innocent questions here. Okay. I haven't imposed a premise upon you to try and force a self-serving answer. You're attempting to do that to me because you're a disingenuous pile of garbage. But I'm accepting your statements about your motives and asking a question based on that. You won't answer. So again, since you're in the slow class, you say that you and Monica wanted to help and save Vic. Did you and Monica have a discussion about the impact of publicly labeling him a sexual predator, a sexual harasser, and sexual assaulter? This is the last, we're going to stop after this one. I got to do super chats and then wrap up. Nick, it's literally facts, not my perception of reality. So, again, here's the deflection, right? Clear and specific, Nick, not rational inference. No. Ron, stop. It's both clear and specific and a rational inference because it's still a prima facie case. It's clear and specific evidence of a prima facie showing. That's it. Which prima facie is the minimum quantum of evidence required to make any rational inference. That's it. Ty accurately stated it at the hearing. That's the law. It's in all the case law. Ask your lawyer about it. He will tell you. Remember, clear and specific. You're dancing around the topic because you know you were wrong. This is so weird because this has nothing to do with Ron and I's conversation, but it has everything to do with how little he understands about this even now. Monica had every right to share her side of the story. Oh, now it's her side of the story. It's not the truth anymore, is it? Is it? Just like Vic has his right to share his side. Did he? Did Vic have a right to share anything, Ron? I don't think he did. You guys didn't let him have a right. You guys never let Vic have a right. When he tried to share his side, when he tried to talk to Monica, you shut him down. You're a liar. You do realize your show is based on being a free speech advocate, right? Yes, and shockingly, free speech doesn't cover defamation. Defamation is not free speech. I don't even agree that it shouldn't be free speech, but it isn't. Do you know anything about it? I don't think so. So, is it not her right to speak up? It's not her right to lie, to destroy someone. We don't have a right to ruin people's reputations with lies. We just don't. Our society isn't prepared for it. We can maybe get there one day. I think Twitter's bringing us there. But everybody has to realize that what someone says on Twitter can be a lie. And we should ignore it for the most part. But anyway, of course we considered the effects of speaking up would be, and as you can see, based on what happened on the lawsuit you profited from, we were also prepared to back up our words, which they still haven't. Did you ever consider for a moment that we were telling the truth? Did you give no thought or effort as a journalist to check sources? Oh, Oh, I checked a lot of them, buddy. Lots of them. Do a simple Google search. Nick, you used him. I tried. I emailed him. Called him. One email, one voicemail, apparently. That's all he's talked about. I wanted to help settle the chaos down online. You called him all right, Ron. You called him a sexual predator. Something like 85 times. You wanted to settle the chaos down, you lying sack of garbage. Absolutely insane. The man is insane. That wasn't even a gavel. That was just my fist. We were under attack. Lawsuits were not filed. Lawyers were not involved. Oh, lawyers were involved, Ron. Publicly involved. February 19th. February 20th. Lawyers were involved. And I reached out to him, and you have hid that fact from your fans. Did I do? I still didn't even know if I know that. You try to frame our conversation like I am the bad guy, but when you add it all up, you started asking for money before getting his permission. No! 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 I didn't ask for money. People asked me where to give money. I said this. Vic said that I said this. People asked me how to get money to help Vic. Are you going to do a GoFundMe? Is there a GoFundMe? What about a GoFundMe? And I thought, maybe I should open a GoFundMe like Ethan did for your boy Zach. Maybe that'd be a good idea. Ask for money? Whew. I opened a GoFundMe and said, here it is. Also, you don't need someone's permission to open a GoFundMe. Don't need their permission. Don't need it. I can open a GoFundMe for you, Ron. I could buy you some testicles or something. Black market testicles for Ron Toye. He admitted in court he didn't like the idea, and you convinced him it was for his own good. No. No. I told him, here's what I said. This is what Vic says I said, and it's true. Vic, you've been helping people for 20 years. Now they want to help you. Let them help you. That's it. That's what I told them, or told him. Because it's true. Let them help you. Then, to top it off, sent him to your family estate planner. He's more than an estate planner, Ron. You have covered this and kept his name with the reminder of all the negative in the forefront of Twitter. No, my Twitter was nuked, by the way. And by doing that, made it toxic for anyone to work with him. It's not that, Ron. Do you know what's toxic to work with Vic? Do you know why it's toxic? Because people like you and Lynn Cunt and other people online, when Vic is announced at a show, they email everybody on Earth that could feasibly be connected with it. Like they emailed the janitor who polished the floor in 1939. They email everybody to try and get him removed, even though they won't be there, even though there's not been a single report against Vic of any kind that anyone can actually find. Those people do it. And it's not because of me. They were doing it before, and they're doing it now. It's not because of me. As you said, Ron, all of the conventions canceled Vic before I spoke. Okay. Anyway. What you have done is the equivalent of changing a light bulb with a hammer, celebrating that the bulb is no longer there, but failing to see the damage you created. Yeah, well, I'll read my two responses because they're short. So you considered and discussed the effects of your words and just said, well, I guess if it literally destroys him or even kills him, that's just the way it goes? Bold. By the way, your fantasy extrapolations of his comments about the GoFundMe are fascinating. And they are. They're absolutely fascinating. Going back and reading what Vic said about the GoFundMe and then seeing what Ron heard or what Lemoyne heard from it is truly mind-blowing. It's amazing. I don't know how else to categorize it. There's a lot more Ronversations still to go. There's a good chunk more here. Now he hasn't messaged me since Tuesday. So maybe he's done. Maybe this will be the end of it when we go through the next batch. I don't know. But that's what we've got for today. I'm going to go through the remaining chats and wrap up the show. Because I will have a heart attack soon. I will have a heart attack soon if we keep going. Oh, God. So. Oh, yeah, he's got a plan. It's just a stupid one. All right, guys. If you do leave during the reading of the chats, thank you all for hanging out. I will be on Twitch for a little while tonight. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm trying to do the commando challenges on Risk of Rain, which are really, really hard. I'm hesitant to start a new game like Sekiro or Dark Souls 2 because a week from tomorrow, I'm going to be going on a vacation. And I don't want to get mediocre at a game only to get terrible at it again by losing like a week of practice. And I don't know how much I'll get to play on the vacation. So I don't think I want to start one of those new games. I might play Doom 2016 as well. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to go back to the Souls games, just probably not before that vacation. I just want to, when I start the game, I just want to play through it with you guys. That's it. So, I got to beat Sekiro before Null. Oh, I'm not worried about that. Null is incompetent at video games. I've determined. So. Oh my goodness. All right, let's do these chats and then we'll get through this. Refined Valley Dude says, when people ask me, good listeners, why do I hate all the Tutsi? I say, read our history. The Tutsi were collaborators for the Belgian colonists. They stole our Hutu land. They whipped us. Now they have come back. These Tutsi rebels, they are cockroaches. Then he continues, they are murderers. Rwanda is our Hutu land. We are in the majority. They are a minority of traitors and invaders. We will squash the infestation. We will wipe out the RPF rebels. This is RTLM, Hutu Power Radio. Stay alert. Watch your neighbors. Is that Nelson Mandela? I don't. No, he's not Rwanda, is he? No. He's not Rwanda. I mean, the Rwandan genocide is a fascinating, horrifying thing. Why are you bringing it up? Will you play Left 4 Dead 2? I'd rather play Vermintide than Left 4 Dead 2. Piebaker says, Nick, I already said why Ron loves to be repetitive. You read it. That worthless bitch loves to beat a dead Monica. Hellsnake says, Ron, please stop being retard and smell the shit you made, man. Everyone and even the dead can smell your bullshit. Jay says, Ron's mere presence gives women barren wounds. Oh, that's why they didn't have kids. Ron, he's a predator times 15, pedophile, assaulted hundreds of people. Also, Ron, Nick did it. Cool gaslight. Cool gaslight, bro. If you say it enough times, your exes might believe you. Wow. Wow. All right. NGE fan 76 says, hey, Nick, starting a new gig. Have a shot of whiskey on me. I got a little bit left. Can't catch it live because I got to get up for the job, but I will be listening on the way in. Enjoy. Just laugh and honk your nose says, Nick, before you get rolling, oh, dang it, please, for the love of God, go to your first Ron Toye deposition stream, jump to 2250 and watch. You'll know it when you hear it. I don't know what that is. The Dragon's Treasure says, hey, Nick, a few weeks back, I sent you a care package of tea. Oh, yes. I meant to, I keep meaning to show. So many people have given me lovely gifts and I haven't shown them. And that's my mistake. It should be back. It's back. It was just a one-time hiccup. I don't know what my ISP is doing lately. It's back. Okay. Anyway, I will lead with the gifts and stuff tomorrow on the show. I keep forgetting, which is rude. And of course, I will allow it on the show for the Vic discount. Oni Renja says, just needing something in the background while I roll up a character for my group's next D&D game. Go get him, Nick. By the way, Saturday, I will be doing another session of D&D where I am playing as Dakimakura, I don't know how to pronounce it. Waifu Body Pillow, Cat Girl Dragonkin Sorceress, hosted by Tess, the DM. So that'll be Saturday. I will tweet it when it's out, but if you want to hang out and watch us play some stupid D&D, you can do that. I'm not playing Ranger Spencer in that campaign. Jerry C, welcome to the channel. Thank you very much for joining. Appreciate it. Some nobody says, Ron wants your ding-dong real bad, seems like. Gay. Hyrule 47 says, entertain me, Law Daddy. Entertain me real hard. I'll try. Always try. Bat Goat says, nice haircut, tough guy. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That guy from that thing says, maybe talk about the coronavirus leaks. It's bad. Isn't Jim talking about those? I don't know anything about him. DCV Titan says, you don't need a lead in to make fun of Dumford. He's enough of a punchline that he doesn't really need a joke. That's true. True. Mr. Demento says, I'm getting tired of winning. Let's do something good and use the SJW salt to help feed China. Let's show we are kind masters. Echo Base Network says, saw a video today by the Quartering which mentioned you. I wanted to know if you can explain as simple as possible fair use on YouTube. Well, actually, Sargon's case kind of throws a little bit of a wrench in what is fair use on YouTube. Or not a wrench, clarifies some understandings of what is fair use on YouTube. Before, fair use on YouTube involved fair use is tricky. I know this is supposed to be simple. Fair use is tricky because fair use is case by case. It's literally, there are no two identical fair use cases. It's case by case by case, and the judge has to look at the facts of each case and the totality of circumstances. So before, what you would need to do is add sufficient commentary to make the work transformative. You would have to transform it in such a way that the work is something different than the original. Well, Sargon won his case, and in doing so, Sargon didn't add any commentary to the original work. He just lifted 3 chunks of it verbatim and spliced them together. But the court found that by nature of it being Sargon, plus the title itself, that those 2 factors were self-evidently transformative from Aquila. That if you're watching Sargon's channel, because of who he is, you know kind of his political perspective and you know his perspective on feminism. And then when you combine that with the title and sort of the patent sarcasm on the face of the title, you say, okay, this transforms the work, even though he didn't do anything to really transform the work. That's crazy. Like, that's a new thing. That's a new thing. He didn't do anything specifically artistically to change the nature of the work. I mean, he cut it in different ways, but the idea, the judge almost seems to indicate that if it wasn't Sargon who did it, but someone who was aligned with Aquila, who took the same 3 clips and put them up, or even someone who was just a small channel that no one's ever heard of and took the same 3 clips and spliced them together in the exact same way, that might not have been fair use, but that the nature of it being someone whose positions were known publicly enough that not a happenstance viewer would occur, that people would be informed as to what was going on. So, but what is fair use on YouTube? It's anybody's guess, man. But basically, it's taking a work and significantly transforming it. But I think that raises big questions on like these reaction videos, which a lot of people like Viva Frey, who I like Leonard French, who I'm neutral on, like Legal Eagle, who I think is terrible, all suggest that these reaction videos, many of these reaction videos are not sufficiently transformative. The Sargon ruling's a little different than that, because they're suggesting that just the nature of Sargon, who he is transformative. Well, if that is transformative, then, for example, MXR Plays, knowing that you're going to be looking at Ginny's face and seeing how she scrunches up and makes a stupid little baby voice, that will be significantly and sufficiently transformative, even though they're just looking at a meme video that someone else owns. That's a big question and a big change in how the fair use is applied. So I don't know. I don't know what fair use is on YouTube anymore. Hopefully that helps. That was a really long argument for a really short question. I apologize. Biden the Cold One says, I made you read this. You did. You did. No one important says, ripping those papers, though, was hilarious. Otaku Sage says, please request Vic for MomoCon. Hashtag Vic for MomoCon. Dragon Fist 900 says, there was a boomer named Nick whose hair was slick. He was lost-splaining, talking constantly about Kick Vic and Pelosi's constant complaining. It's true. Lovey Side Up says, Ron should watch your cooking stream from today so he can learn what a real dad is like. Also, it was my first cooking stream and I like your setup. Hey, thanks. Thanks. RoboNext sent me keep it up. A keep it up emoji. Thank you. Or GIF. I don't even know what that is. Echo Base Network says, was dealing with dogs. Did you read my super chat already? Now I have. Now I have. DCV Titan says, I'm on the Goon Squad. You are the Goon Squad. Infernal Iris says, Ron wishes he was as valuable as the remote he beat his wife with. No one important says, Ron is the best interrogator around, huh, Nick? Oh, he's doing great. Extracting all of the information he needs. Stars Girl Forever. More money for my favorite YouTuber. All hail Rackets. Hey, thank you. All hail you, Stars Girl Forever. DCV Titan says, see, it's these screw-ups with language are what make me think that this is a troll. Can he honestly be this stupid while being such a sanctimonious 455? Yes. Yes, he can. Archangel of Life says, Monica Rial and Ian James Corlett, the original Goku, are going to be at Anime Pasadena. That's going to be an interesting scene in April. Maybe. DCV Titan says, Vic hugs, Islamic cuddles, exactly the same thing. Oh, no. Stars Girl Forever says, grind them to tallow, make candles, and burn them. Verithica Frostscale says, with the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard news, is there anything Vic can do other than the defamation case? I mean, Vic could try and go after Funimation for breach of contract. He could try and go after conventions for breach of contract. I don't think that that's necessarily wise. Texas is just such a pain of a state for that. He could potentially try. There may be other causes of action, but we'll see. I mean, I think the main thing is win on appeal. Well, I guess they can't guarantee a win on appeal. Turn in a solid appellate brief. That's the goal right now, and that's the focus. DZV Titan says, Ron doesn't understand a lot of things. Laws, human interactions, the clitoris, sexual intercourse, where babies come from, why his child is black. Oh. Reno McDallas, welcome. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Rogue says, Ron needs to be beaten within an inch of his non-existent gaming life in a 99 stock Smash Brothers Ultimate match with Smash Balls only, BMs allowed. Abradolf Honkler, welcome to the show. Thank you. Welcome to joining the show, members, whatever that is. Reno McDowell says, just survived running into a deer with my work car. It jarred loose a thought. Do you think Ron is smart enough to know he's mentally defective? Smiley, smiley. No. No, not at all. But I'm glad you survived running into the deer. Mario Carter 13 says, Pierre Delecto worships the Church of Mosquito. Mustaine Fan 69 says, this guy is one of the most manipulative, twisted persons I've ever encountered. Internet or IRL. Guy is a straight liar. I think he's a gay liar. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. More jokes. Yeah, he's clearly just a liar. And it's weird. DCV Titan says, why does he keep talking like he's Vic's friend? He was going to kick Vic's ass because he stepped between Ron and Monica, lying sack of irredeemable shit. Because he's a liar and he's manipulative. And he's an abuser. Those things. Nya says, let me unwisely get in Ron's head. Quote, he sexually abused hundreds of minors. But, quote, he can be a great guy. That's why I want to help him. I'm sorry, what? Don't try. Don't try. DCV Titan says, calling Monica a liar. No shit, I wonder why. Mustang Fan 69 says, TOS blocked the R word on my last super chat, SMH. Oh, you must have said retarded person I have ever encountered. We use exceptional here. No one important says, you don't know us, man. Seriously, who is this guy? Again, Ron doesn't know Vic. Ron doesn't know Vic. Spent probably less than an hour total ever talking to Vic. And I mean total. But he's you don't know us, man. You ruined someone's life. You don't know at all. And you lied about all of it. Romeo Garbo says, I think Monica was being called A hero of anime immediately before all of this. Yes. She had more likes on those posts than any post she's ever done. She's so brave. So brave. And then she did this and lost most of that respect because she wanted more. Oh, wait. We're thinking of two different things. No, I think initially, before the counter narrative came, Monica was being praised for this stuff too. I mean, she was getting beat up in the comments a little bit, but she had way more. She was not ratioed. She was not ratioed. Now she gets ratioed on stuff, except for the blockchains. John Taylor says, first super chat. I'll watch the replay later. Hey, thanks, buddy. Skeeny says, for your mic problem, buy a rodeo shotgun mic. No, I like my mic. I need some acoustic foam, which is allegedly coming. Bad Dragonite says, boom mic, more like boomered mic. Vasily App, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining. John Taylor says, have you ever been to Canada before? Yes, one time I went to Banff. It was beautiful. Orthus says, Nick, when it comes to Monica, you seem to forget for a second that lying and stupid aren't mutually exclusive. True. That's true. Tyler Reeves, thank you for joining the channel. DCV Titan says, damn, it was actually a mic problem. I thought, like me, we were having a small stroke due to the stupidity of that statement. Chengiz Khan says, how long do you think it'll take for Ron and Monica to realize Lemois has been grifting them hard? Oh man, if they lose on appeal, it's going to come crashing home real fast. Ex Varna says, so Ron's ex didn't answer his phone call and Ron threatened her kids/dogs. Vic didn't answer Ron's call, so he labeled Vic a predator and destroyed his career. Tell us again how much you've changed, Ron. Actually, Ron is worse now. He did the predator and destroyed his career first, before he left the voicemail. He left the voicemail later, when he found out that he was going to get sued. Tara Sophia says, Ron is either insane or the world's greatest troll. I think the first one. Pro Hero All Might, thank you for joining the channel. I appreciate it. Matt Field says, Nicky boy, mic goes out when you hit the desk, lol. I know. It shouldn't, but it does. Malik Foxen says, you say they wouldn't let him go until he's dead, but Kobe's death tells me even death won't stop him. They dance on his grave while the body's warm and cold. Matt Fields, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining. DCV Titan says, Ron needs to be studied. Seriously, he's a miracle of science. It's amazing that he can do things when he clearly doesn't have a brain. Altira Mungara says, actually, you made a passing comment about Vic probably not having a case for libel during one of the two McInnes versus SPLC streams. Oh, really? Really? Oh, that's interesting. Sakura Kinomoto. I don't think I knew anything about it at the time. That's cool. Sakura Kinomoto says, interspecies reviewer ranked number 2 on MAL. Woo. My anime list. Blaine 20 with a sticker says, game over. Got like a hippo on there. Malik Foxen says, funny thing is you explain how it can go wrong too. Yeah. I mean, it's almost like I've done this forever. But see, here's the thing. If I didn't do it on their Twitter timeline, I didn't do it. That's how these people operate. Their world is so small. Gun the Legend says, dude, Nick, don't waste your breath on people like this. Stupid people can never be fixed. Oh, I'm not trying to fix Ron. I don't want to fix Ron. I think he's perfect the way he is. Romeo Garbo says, but if you were truly a feminist, you would understand it's about equality and not being better than or wanting to rid the world of men. Monica Rial, January 10th, 2019. Hypocrisy at its finest. Winter Sparks says, hey, Nick, my best friend recently lost his job and needs help supporting his family. I'll DM his GoFundMe if you don't mind sharing. I guess. But I can't endorse it because I don't know anything about it. Sorry. But I'll share it if you want. Here it is. So here you go, guys. I'm going to put the GoFundMe in the chat. You can check it out. There you go. I can't vouch for it or anything like that, but you can check it out and make your own decisions. Gelth Walker says, check the GoFundMe, the GFM, Nikki. Oh, we got a couple more donations that came in. We've got Gelth Walker. Oh, that's the most recent one. $20 more, $275,079. Hey, thanks. Thanks for that. Really appreciate it. Bloody Thumb says Terry Schiavo is less of a potato than Ron. Whoa. Oni-chan says, can a senator be recalled? I think that's... I don't know. There might be a state process for it. The other thing, senators can be impeached, just like anybody else. If so, does that make the 6-year term language in the Constitution moot? If not, how can a state hold its senators accountable? States used to be able to recall senators back when states picked their senators rather than them being popularly elected. I don't know. That's a good question. Definitely you can unelect them at the next election, but maybe there's a solution beforehand. I'm not sure. Freighter J with a dancing lemon. Thank you. Vasily App says, Ronversations is my favorite shows after the deposition videos. I can only hope people never stop. We'll see. So far, he's stopped for a couple days. Vasily App says, I actually wonder if Ron is dumb enough to believe his lies or dumb enough to believe he's running some successful manipulation game. Well, he's convinced me. I'm convinced. So he must be doing something right. Siren Jag, Ron, are you calling Monica a liar? Old bag, well, I'm not calling her for dinner. The state of Minnesota can't afford it. No one important says, oh, I meant Nancy Pelosi ripping those papers. Yeah, isn't that what you said? Oh, you said Elizabeth Warren, didn't you? It was Pelosi, though. Jason the Great Awakening says, Nick, have you examined this new Way Forward Act Tucker Carlson has been explaining? Sounds nuts to me, but would appreciate some proper insights. Nope, never heard of it. I can look it up. Caldeo the Horse says, why are Funimation VAs suspect racists? I don't know. I don't know. There's lots of racism coming out of Funimation. Weird. Bad Dragonite says, here's a last two. Well, let me start the outro. Whoa, that's a bit loud. Last two chats. Bad Dragonite says, so when is the Dark Souls Challenge speed run? Using only a Dance Dance Revolution mat, Donkey Konga bongos, and a gavel while drinking every time you die. Never. Siren Jack says, boy, the Kick Vic Whammon is kicking herself for dropping this info when she was pissed at me. If you're road tripping to Kitchener from the USA and you don't have a passport, you will need a birth certificate, an enhanced driver's license, only available in 5 states. So there you go. Thank God I have a passport. Alright guys, I got the Justice chats. I was getting there. Those are the two I was talking about. Alright guys, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. That is a show. Be sure to pop over to Twitch. I'll start it up in just a few minutes. I just got to run to the bathroom, change shirts, put on some shorts because, oh my God, I'm melting. And maybe grab a snack or something like that. Hopefully you guys have a good night. We should have a show tomorrow as well. And I'm not 100% sure what it will be, but it should be fun. All right, guys. Have a good night. Peace. Peace.
Glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we are now. Oh, the guests are all planet folk from Dundee to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet. There's no one who explains the throng better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed.